Hey, beautiful people. Um, I've had a lot of people messaging me, asking me to do another video on what's going on with the current energies on planet Earth. Well, what I'd have to say is welcome to New Earth. We are certainly here. All of the frequencies between the fourth dimensional Earth and the fifth dimensional Earth really began shifting as President or ex President George Herbert Walker Bush passed from this plane of existence. People who have been following my work for many years know that I, as well as many others, are here to counterbalance the darkness that that individual held. And he was very much key to the planetary 666 in Revelation 13:18 from the lower dimensional levels. Now, granted, everything has multiple meanings depending on which dimensional level of consciousness that the individual observing is observing from. And in the lower 3D levels, George H.W. Bush, like many of the other heads of Team Dark, anchored that darkness in that lower level, the 666, the carbon state of being. And all my life, I knew that I was here to hold my light in an opposite polarity, because that's how all experience works. All experience works on polarity. It's just like well, it's a frequency, and you have the highs and you have the lows. How far up and how far down in the middle of that band between the two measured places, that space at how many times a second determines frequency. Um, and there's many of us that held the opposite polarity, the high side of the frequency from the low side of Team Dark and of certain individuals. My opposition on this planet just happened to be George Herbert Walker Bush. And that's why if you go into my albums, or if you look at any of my old work that's like 25 and 30 and 35 years old, you will see me many times acknowledging what is going on with the Bush Cheney teams. Well, they're going down. And it's really interesting because those of us that have played in Anonymous for years, since the last crash, the crash of September 15th, 2008, and before, really. But those of us that were playing on the anonymous teams, doing the research and exposing what's going on planet to the world, to wake up humanity so we could have a great awakening on a geopolitical level, which leads into the spiritual great awakening of the human collective of humanity, low humanity, so they could turn into the high humanity, the light beings, the light man. Um, it's been a most amazing process, and really, I've got a great admiration now that the darkness has been lifted and we have shifted from the fourth dimension into the fifth dimension here. For anyone so choosing on Earth at this time, there's many people that know that we're in the process of two Earths splitting, and those Earths splitting is of those choosing the fifth dimensional, literally shifting the consciousness out of the brain center into the heart, the singularity, out of the duality, the good, bad, light, dark, heaven, hell, us, them, male, female, into the singularity and wholeness of the heart, which activates the heart chakra and the chakra system, and the tritial field and the Merkaba, which is the boundaries of the individual's light body. And and something huge shifted as George H.W. Bush passed away or was terminated, McCain, as we call it. That's not saying that I wanted to see him put to death, but he was, and many more will be, and that's not for me to judge. But I do see Team Dark as being, for those of us on Team Light, as the most incredible master spiritual drill instructors this planet could have ever offered, this universe could have ever offered. And those of us who overcame that darkness and held the light throughout the past 40 years, really since, well, really all my life, because a year and a half after I got here, George H.W. Bush was involved in the Kennedy assassination, being right there at the book depository just minutes before Kennedy was assassinated. Now, in the past year, since Trump has released more documents, we're finding that George H.W. Bush was actually in touch with Lee Harvey Oswald in the hours before the Kennedy assassination. So much as this is coming to light, and those of us who held the higher frequencies and higher light, we already knew these things because we can read the Akash, we can go into the field, we can be able to see what's going on. And that leads me to another thing, because I'm getting ready to go back to my farm, Tahiti, the heart of Turtle Island, and I'm going to build my ashram along with a meditation room for out-of-body experiences, literally where the soul leaves the body, the true blue astral projection. Because for so long, these past 57 years, I had to go inside and come out within this particular universe to do my remote viewing of situations. And the issue with that is I was always in my universe instead of the bigger universe. And so there's different ways of viewing things in my universe, just because my universe, because of the thought, the emotion, what I've done with my physical body, the level of consciousness that I hold, it's different from anybody else's out there. And so to have a collective truth, I've really got to pull my soul out of this body and astral project into the universe that we all share. Because I was getting fantastic messages over these years, but was told that I could not astral project. I could not allow my soul to leave this body because of Team Dark, because Team Dark and their working with the demonics, and many of them like Beelzebub. I was the one, along with Danielle Breen and quite a few other different light workers, I was the one who was able to encapsulate the 9 dark wizards that created Beelzebub and eliminate that energy from the planet. And since we did, which I was wondering if I was certain that that energy was completely removed back in 2013 when we were going into the Vatican, and doing a remote viewing of the Vatican before Pope Benedict resigned, which was the exact halfway point of the Great Tribulation. The whole story is just beyond belief for somebody who's 3D, and how could they ever even comprehend what those of us that hold 5 and 6D and higher energies can even. I mean, what we say is just so far beyond the third dimensional perceptions that it would be a very difficult thing for people to comprehend those things that we know, those levels of consciousness that we play in, the what we actually see, and it'd scare the piss out of them too. If they only knew. But Team Dark has been pretty much eliminated. But I was not allowed. My messages were very clear. This these past years, I could not astral project out of this body because the demonic presences might decide to take vacation into my body while I was away. And Team Dark always knew exactly who we were. And we're not totally protected until we have activated the heart chakra and stepped into Ascension Mastery and fully into that 5D. And then we are absolutely protected. They cannot take us out at that point. And but they can take out people around us, which has been a big issue for me, because so many of the past times of Ascension, they did take out my loves and my children and my family. So this Ascension, I had to be very, very, very careful. So I didn't want to see the love of my life and my children tortured and killed in front of me before they did it to me again. And so I had to play by a set of rules that was far different from what most people in 3D can comprehend. And it's very much like a movie. I mean, it's beyond what people can even conceive of as a movie or realities in life, but it is reality. It's my personal experience, and it's so far beyond. it's a universal, multiversal. If we did a galactic movie of it, it would be in levels that only people that comprehend the multiverse could even believe would be truth. It is truth. What a trip. So anyway, I'm going to be returning back to Tahiti to build my ashram with a meditation room, underground meditation room, totally sealed off from the rest of the world and the vibrations and frequencies, and I'm going to practice out-of-body experiences. It's time for me to go out and into the universe, to leave this planet. There's some messages that have been coming in about the twin flames scenario, and there's many people over the years that have contacted me and say they know that they are a fractal of my twin flame. Well, I know very well who my twin flame is. I knew it before I even knew what the name twin flame was. And she's going through her process right now. If she only knew how much I really can see and how much I really do know, she could not believe it. And I hear this from so many people who are in fifth dimension talking about their twin flames that are still playing in that third dimension, really third and fourth dimension. And they cannot comprehend the experiences of the other side of what they're going through, because they say that can't be real. It must be an illusion. It must be a mirage. And for my twin flame, it's her own mirage. She'll appreciate that joke. Few other people would get it, except persons that know me really closely, but I can see her mirage is her mirage. What a hoot. Life is a real trip, man. And this experience is getting so magical and so far exceeding magical that, I mean, everything that we ever believed is we were gathering for the 40 days of no negativity and to activate our heart chakras, or gathering for the focus on the divine creation of New Earth. Which we're now in. So few people believed that's how reality works, but that is how reality works. It goes from the divine consciousness into the vision and all the colors and the light of that divine thought of what you wish to create, and invoked by casting the spells, by speaking, by sound, by frequency, vibration. And it's got to be felt into existence by the emotions. You've got to put the energy into emotion. You've got to put the emotion into the to the divine thought and the vision of it, and the, invoking the casting of the spells to make it actually cross over into this material, physical reality. And that's what the tribulation was all about, right there. Really is those of us who hold the highest vibrations on this planet. And I'm saying even more than a lot of the ascended masters that have come before. And some of us were those ascended masters that came before, and that's why we do the jobs that we're doing now. But we're holding more light and frequency than we ever did before. And and many people just could not comprehend the stories, the understanding of how this quantum universe actually functions. That the spiritual comes before the material and not the other way around. And that's why so many people on this planet are having such issues right now, because they're in the fifth dimensional frequencies, because those of us light workers channeled in. We are the walking, talking antenna, which channels the frequency in and sends it out to the collective of humanity and programs the grid. And that change of frequency is causing a shift in where Earth and the solar system and this galactic quadrant is within this local universe and within the Milky Way galaxy. We're moving places, and it's because we're shifting frequencies. And when you shift frequency, when consciousness opens up, you can't remain in the same physical space. It just doesn't work. That's why when you activate your heart chakra, you go through a dark night of the soul and a death and dying process of your old life and your old way of thinking, your old understanding, that you've got to clear up all that resistance that limits your manifestations prior to, it's just part of the process, prior to you're stepping into your new life. Well, what happened this past holiday season after George H.W. Bush transitioned and was removed from this planet, thank you. And thank you, George H.W. Bush. Man, you're the whole reason in all of Team Dark. You're the reasons why we have a collective awakening going on right now. Without you guys, we could not have done this. And it took the lightest of the light, the brightest of the bright. The Luciferians. Remember, Lucifer was God's right-hand angel, the one that was the lightest of the light. And Lucifer anchored, so that Michael anchored the light. I'm a Michael. Michael remained to anchor the light, while the darkest of the dark held the opposite of the polarity within the frequencies, so we could have this third dimensional experience, completely separate from source. And so with George H.W. Bush's passing, which was 11/29/2018 at 10:10 p.m. and there's a huge message there that I'm going to get into in a minute that has to do with my brother Tom Miller, who I was doing the food forest with, who transitioned since I did my last video. And he was a government hitman. Navy SEAL, took out Pol Pot in 1979. That was his last mission. Anyway, God, being in 5D, it's like I'm just rambling, and there's so much data, so much information, I can't get it all into video because it goes out like that. You have the center concept, but explaining details is so much like that from the center concept. How do you relate a full concept without having to tell all the ends of the mechanics of it. And so 3D people would think I'm crazy, and 5D people, 6D people, I just gotta say, just connect with me, and you can download the whole data. 5D people are in their heart. They might not be up to that level of telepathy, which we're all getting into. But so I try to tell the whole story here. So anyway, where was I? I for years could not astral project or have the soul leave the body, and now that George H.W. Bush is not here and Team Dark's down and the New Earth energies are here, that's my next stage of my experience is to play around with Thoth at Tehodi. That's funny as hell right there. It's Tehodi, the heart of Turtle Island. That's my farm, located in the position of the heart of Turtle Island, North and South America. A very sacred space there. And Thoth was one of the great ascended masters that teaches the light and higher levels of manifestation via the light. And Thoth and Tehoti are one digit difference in the name. It's the very last letter of Thoth gets transferred from an H to an I, and Thoth into Tehodi. And that's so interesting because the emerald tablets are now becoming quite the thing for people to experience. And I'm going back and now that they're being narrated, I'm going back and listening to them while I'm doing long distance bike rides and stuff. And I'm really, it's so great to do it that way rather than trying to read the things, which takes your complete attention away from anything else. And so I get to ride around listening to the emerald tablets, and many people have heard me tell the story of the fall of Atlantis, and when I was watching the wave coming in, the wave was about 1.5 miles, 2 miles high. Literally, it was the wave that crushes everything. Nothing survives that, except in certain places on the planet that wave wasn't going to knock out. And those of us masters that knew the fall of Atlantis was getting ready to happen, we powered down the Atlantean temple crystals and we put them away. Wow. Some of the same souls of Team Dark that we're here playing the opposite polarity of, like George H.W. Bush, were incarnate at that time and doing some very, very not so good things to the planet that actually ushered in that calamity. And I remember being there as the wave came in. I've explained it to many people many times. And I was one of the Atlantean priests, the Alta Ra. And of course, my name is Manara, Manara, because I'm literally the food of the angels. In the white dove, the planetary ascension vehicle, I'm located in the belly, which my ego thought was nuts back in 1992 when we formed the white dove ascension vehicle at Angel Fire, New Mexico, with Samara, Anra, and so many others of us that we're still together. So anyway, during the fall of Atlantis, we had been in touch with many ET civilizations, and same with Thoth. Thoth had his starship, which was Jehovah's ship. If you know the story of Jehovah, Christians think Jehovah was God, but Jehovah was an ET, just like the rest of us. God's the all that is. God is not individual in physicality, although he sent a son, Yeshua. Well, really, the truth is, he sent many, many sons. And any of us who shift our consciousness out of the duality of the brain into our heart, step into ascended mastery, are sons and daughters of God. It's just that simple and easy. I mean, we're sons of the light at that point. Well, anyway, I had as one of the Altar Ra after we had powered down the crystals, and Atlantis was going down, and the wave was coming at me. It was beautiful. It's like watching a hurricane. By the way, I got Hurricane Michael. Where I am here, I was on the eastern eye wall of Hurricane Katrina, and then I got Hurricane Michael. I was on the western eye wall, and where I was had 138 mile per hour sustained winds. It's a wall of water going this way with trees in it. It's like a 23 mile wide tornado, man. You know, I was in the middle of it. That was pretty cool. Anyway, I had, and it requires 5D energies to be able to do those types of things and come out unscathed. And so it's part of holding the light. That's part of being a ascended master. That's what we do. Anyway, I had a necklace as the wall of water, as the wave was coming into Atlantis. And I was wearing a necklace, which I don't wear any type of necklaces anymore, but it was it looked like it was made out of silver, like a pewter, more like a pewter. The chain in what encapsulated a blue crystal. And that blue crystal, it was not that big around, and it was crowned on both sides, and the wall of water was coming in, and Atlantis was going to be destroyed. I took off my crystal, and it was time to get out of there, and I activated it. I turned it, and I set it on the ground, and there was a blue double helix vortex, kind of like a beam, like if you watch Star Trek and they go, "Beam me up, Scotty," and you see that beam. Well, it was exactly like that. And when I set that on the ground, Thoth's ship came for me, and I was beamed above on board, and we watched as all was destroyed below us, and I was worn out. I was just physically, even though I was an ascended master, I had already ascended even that time. And I've ascended many times on this planet. That's why I'm back teaching Ascension Mastery in here and now. Even being an ascended master, you still feel, you still get fatigued. You're not as bad as you did when you were a 3D human, but your body still, it can get physically fatigued. And I was after I was picked up. And we went to Egypt, and Thoth, he landed the spaceship and placed it under where the Sphinx is now, and built the pyramid over the halls to Amenti, which was located at the point of the land masses east to west, the center point of the land masses east to west, and water north to south. And that became the original longitude of how you look at the planetary grid system and the ley lines. And it was all based off those pyramids. And that's what's so cool about the Emerald tablets now getting released. The rest of them will be released in these next few years as we complete this transition, along with ancient libraries will be reopened too. But we've got to complete this transition. We've basically exposed Team Dark on this planet, and they are encapsulated just like I did the Dark Wizards who created Beelzebub. Uh, the Dark Wizards have been released from this planet. I did a video back in the summer of 2012 uh, discussing, asking in an open video, kind of like an open letter, Team Dark to step down from the powers because the game was over and it's time for the light to come in. But their egos would not allow them to do that. And that's why many of them now will be executed. I really didn't want to have that happen. I really wanted to transition and thank them for holding the opposite polarity and bring them into New Earth with us. But by prophecies, that doesn't happen. I guess that doesn't matter how my ego of Bill Ballard, not Monterey, not Walking Star, not my higher levels, not Michael, but my ego of Bill Ballard would really want that to happen, and it's not in the universal quantum karmic cards, so to say. It's not part of the game, but I really had wished and hoped that they would change, and I'm really grateful that we didn't have to physically fight like we've had to many other times. I certainly trained for it. Boy, did I. Back in 2009, when I knew the shift was coming at the beginning of the summer, I heard so clearly, quit training that way, quit sniping, quit, doing quick draws, quit using my swords, quit training to kill people. That had to go away before I could really step into fully anchor into fifth dimensional. But a lot of my training, the residuals of my training and the residuals of my past life remained in my art field, in my fascia. Thank you, Carolyn Puckett, for all of your work on this physical body, releasing the history of my experience throughout time on this planet. I was here even when dragons were here. There'd be dragons there. And I was bitten in half, and I carried the scars from that for a long time. Carried the scars from being stabbed and drawn and quartered and hung and cut up and broken and crushed and everything else. And all of those emotions and memories, they hang within the body. The memories are magnetic, just like a 8-track or a cassette tape. The memories of the brain, and it's not just the brain, that's what people don't get. The memories are down in the cells throughout the body, and they're stored within the magnetics between the atoms, protons, and the electrons spinning around that generates a magnetic field. The memories are stored within those magnetics, and we have to release those memories before we can raise our frequency, before our frequency can actually change and shift into a higher frequency. That resistance, those magnetics have to be released, and that's really what at 33:55, right as I'm looking down, that's what really happened after George H.W. Bush crossed over. The energies that he had, finally we were able to shift and remove them from our physical vessels, because it's in our own cells. See, as above, so below. the universe that is on the exterior that we all share, not the universe that's within that we individually share, but the universe that's on the exterior that we all share, there's about 100 billion different galaxies inside this universe that's my body. There's about 100 billion, trillion, whatever. I know that's a big difference between those two numbers. But about 100 trillion cells within the body, and within each cell is about 100 trillion atoms. Well, that's a rough guesstimate. It's all different. Every cell, every body, every person is different. But that's the same thing as the galaxies and the stars within the galaxies above that we see, as above, so below. And to shift up there, we have to shift in here. And so, as George H.W. Bush was leaving planet, along with so many others, and John McCain, and well, we had Rockefeller go down. That was on the spring equinox in 2017. As these guys who hold the dark energy leave, we're able to stop having to cover our asses defending ourselves, be concerned about, are these guys going to take us out again? Because they is the censorship, as our bank accounts, as so much of our mail. So these guys have been messing with us. And we had to hold the light and get rid of the fear and get rid of the concerns about being killed, to be able to hold that light and those levels of frequency and the light quotient in order to change the planet. And so that's why I say there's some best spiritual drill instructors this planet could ever offer. They really were. But it's time for the change. And anyway, in 1,000 years, as stated, as in prophecy, they'll be unleashed again for those persons that, if they're not into their spiritual mastery by then, I have always hoped and prayed that we would have 1,000 years of peace in where everybody on the planet was actually fully in fifth dimensional and sixth dimensional energies, and have fully released that 3D and 4D. But as things shift, it doesn't appear that that's what's going to happen. Although I still hold the focus, I hold that focus all the way through. But because see, this physical body is only really one cell of the Father, of the creation, of the logos of this planet. Because everybody on this planet, every human, every consciousness that is having an experience on this planet is a fractal of the planetary logos. And that planetary logos is a fractal of, Yeshua, Jesus, is a fractal of that planetary logos. And, wow. There's so much information that all I want to say is everybody just get in here, learn how to go out there from within here, and that way you can get the same informations and knowledge and understanding and comprehension of how this all works. And you won't need my videos anymore. You won't need my posts on Facebook, because you'll have it. And it's your right. I mean, it's your gift. But you got to learn to trust yourself. You got to learn to free yourself from the negativities and resistance. And see, that goes back to what happened here. I felt after George H.W. Bush passed, that on the 21st, there was a wave of energy at the winter solstice, a wave of energy that came through and a door opened. And I could feel it very clearly. It's very, very pure energy, very, very high energy. And during the first few days, I was not able to anchor it. And I realized that it required some clearing that was going on within my physical vessel because of Team Dark's removal from this planet. And so I did my clearing, and there were some other cords, some things going on in my family's life that, and I'm looking at my little brother here who almost died, who did die, and they brought him back. And my next older brother died, and they didn't bring him back over Christmas holidays. Having vertigo and falling and hitting their head, and having convulsions and alcoholic seizures. So I lost my next older brother, and I was clearing out from my younger brother just in case he decided to depart. Cut those cords, and as I was cutting all those cords, I saw the one who I activated by my twin flame. All my experience, I was trying to bring my twin flame with me, but I don't know if she's going to come or not. It's up to her. But she's the reason why I activated it. It was that love, but I had to turn that love in onto myself because she couldn't comprehend and believe what those of us that'll be listening to this video know. how twin flames, how energies, how 5D works, and what's going on. And so she knew, and boy, she could get in that higher frequencies, and we could really step into the 5D, but she had too much heady stuff. She thinks she's in the heart, but she's really in the head. And you can't go through your process if you're in your head. It's and when you do shift out of your head, you're going to have a death, and you're going to lose, most likely, your professions, all your friends. Your family's going to think you're crazy. And then this whole magical world opens up. And people who haven't done it can't comprehend it. And when they're going through it, they think they're dying, physically dying. But there's been so many of us now, so many of us watching this video have been through the process to know that we're not going to physically die. And boy, I thought I was, and I didn't have anybody before me to discuss how it feels to go through the ascension in body. And the 3 times that I've ascended before on this planet, which was off this planet, when I hit the frequencies that I did back in 2009, then an energy field, a vortex, a doorway opens up, and you step through, and you're not in this reality anymore. But what was happening now is as we go through this process and we step through that doorway, we're the walking, talking antenna channeling the frequencies into the planet. And what a trip that's been. The past 10 years has been most magnificent. I can feel my twin flame activating. She's scared. I know that she can't believe that this is real. And I'm dealing with that with my own family. They can watch the magic in my life, and they can see that I speak of Ascension Mastery and hear, but they can't comprehend me as an Ascension Master. They see me walking in the middle of the hurricanes. They see when I say I'm pushing out this oil, and the Gulf oil spill right out here. I sit in the front yard, and no one never came in here for 30 miles that way to Dolphin Island and 30 miles that way to Bait St. Louis, about 12 miles out to Ship Island. Well, never came in here. And I told everybody what I was doing. I told everybody it was going to happen before it happened. I called it 6 months before that oil spill happened. That was part of a channeled message that I had written called Welcome to the First Half of the Great Tribulation. And boy, was that on target. And I gave the halfway points in 2009 which the halfway point was in February of 2013, and that was the day that Pope Benedict resigned. Just after those of us went into the Vatican and took out some of the bad guys. And I was looking for Beelzebub there, but I found him a couple months later. Removed him from the planet. Anyway, as the tribulation ended, the very next day, after the tribulation, after the dates that I was given, because it didn't come from Bill Ballard, it came from the field. You got to know, there's, that's a huge difference. People look at me and think I'm the guy doing it all. No, Bill Ballard's just learned to connect his chakra system to his light body, and then his light body is integrated with the field and the various levels, dimensional levels of consciousness, and that's how I receive the information. It's not, I recognize myself as part of all that is, rather than part of, any definition of that all that is. I know all the way back to Prime Creator my levels of how I descended. So Ascension is not an issue for me. So anyway, as I activated and started stepping into my powers and started really having manifestations coming in instantaneously, many people around me, my friends and family, they could hear my words, but they thought me nuts. They thought I was crazy. And that's because they can understand Ascension Mastery, but I've been showing my skills all my life. they still don't believe me. and that was what the clearing was about between Christmas. I was told to release my brothers and release everybody else, and I came to my twin flame, and I had those memories of all the times where Team Dark had taken her out, and along with her son, who was there also. He was our son previously, but there's three of us that's played there many times together. As I was clearing those energies and wanting my sovereignty, I came to my twin flame, and I've tried to do this many times before. I tried to cut that connection, that cord, and I heard this astounding, loud and clear, no! And I was like, oops. Don't cut that one. And all other cords could be cut with my family and friends and other people who I've been tied to since the beginning of Earth School. Repeatedly, we cut cords, but they have memory like memory steel. Like a spring, it tries to come back into shape, and you have to do those things again. Well, I had a realization. You know what I didn't do? I didn't say it was 12 o'clock on 1/12/2019 like I usually do. I want to start up a video. It's been so long, I've gotten out of the habit. So anyway, but I was told don't cut that cord, and then I started asking why, and I was given information that my twin flame is going through the process of awakening, and her chakra system is coming online. Although she's a yoga teacher, she couldn't believe what I was speaking about Ascended Mastery, because the yogis, I mean, that level of mastery that many of us who have been teaching it know and have done before in many other lifetimes on this planet. There's a lot of other persons that never took it to those levels into Ascension Mastery. That's why there was only 8,000 people in all of Earth history in the 3 different worlds prior to, before 2009, that had ever gone through the Ascension process. And some of us, like me, among those 8,000 masters, I've done it 3 times. So that's it's not too good of odds for the collective of humanity there. And at this point, I'm pretty much done with teaching Ascension Mastery. Those who needed it and got it. My mission was to get the original 8,000 activated as a previously Mayan Atlantean priest. I was the timekeeper for this era of the Ascension, and to get those 8,000 people heart chakra activated and onto their Ascension Mastery path in 2009. And that's what that channel message from Archangel Michael was. Welcome to the first half of the Great Tribulation. And we did that. And we accomplished 144,000 of us by Venus transit, June 6th of 2012. We accomplished that mission. And then the Great Awakening began in earnest. And then a few days after we accomplished that, my book, The Great Awakening, was released, describing what we're going through here on planet now and what we will be going through in the time to come. Although timelines are really shifting fast. And what's getting ready to happen, and it's a choice with the twin flames. For creation of New Earth, and we are in New Earth energies that's here and now, but the master creators are not supposed to be the ascended masters on this planet by themselves. They're supposed to be in tandem with their twin flame. They're supposed to be building and creating this new experience with their twin flame. And if their twin flame comes through, their twin flame can only come through if they're activated, if they shift their consciousness, if they made the choice and shifted the consciousness from the head of the heart and activated their heart chakras, the tritium field. Merkaba stepped into the Ascension Mastery and really raised their frequency, because they have to get rid of 51% of the darkness just to be able to even activate their chakras. So it's up to those twin flames whether they want to come through or not, but we're not limited to having to wait on our twin flames. There's been much time. My twin flame? I'm not going to tell the whole story here because I really want her to tell it herself. My twin flame, I gave 5 years to waiting on her to get out of a situation and into a situation with me. And she turned to somebody else as I activated, which really, in the end, that's what kept her alive. The Team Dark knew that they couldn't kill me. I was already activated, but they can kill those people that I love, like they've done many times before. So something happened that was a very good thing, which she looks at as not a good thing. And she was with another person. But that choice kept her alive. And so it's a very good thing. And she wouldn't be here right now if I didn't keep my mouth closed and keep my heartstrings taut and say she can only arrive in ascended mastery state with me, as that cannot come any other way. Well, she's on the path, but we Those who know, just like Anna Markova said, uh, the decision's got to be made by January 31st of 2019. And that's, there's a lot of decisions that twin flames see. So many of those of us that are ascended masters have their other soul counterpart here incarnate right now on earth. Many of us know exactly who that is. And we're supposed to be coming into this new time together for creation of new earth. And because of that love energy, that super bond that's like no other. I mean, to love the other part of yourself is probably the greatest thing you can do other than to love yourself. And to, I've learned how to raise my frequencies straight through the loving myself and appreciation of my own heart. I don't need my twin flame. She could keep on going if she so chooses, but there's many others that want to take her place, which I'm not going to manifest anything right there. We'll just leave it right there. I know she'll be watching this video. I know she's been watching me. I know that I made a post on New Year's where I explained something that she did. And I know that she read that post. See, she thinks she can hide. She thinks that she can be in the shadows. Can't do that. It's an impossibility. Anybody who wants to hide from me is a fool. I don't care where you think you can go. I'm going to find you. You don't know me. Man, what a hoot. Anyway, yeah, we're getting ready to go in. Well, we already are in the new earth energies. I mean, it's here and now. And with the clearing that happened, the cutting of the cords, that the energies came on at the winter solstice at the 21st, and the cutting of the cords for me happened the night, Christmas night. And I went through a portal New Year's Eve, and I was told Moira's preparing. Oops, but I'm not going to edit it, and I'm not going to cut this video. It's time that this comes out fully into the light, or we part ways 100%. And really, I enjoy playing with all my other friend girls out there, and you know who all those are. So I don't know how this is going to turn out. This is quite interesting. I know that the creation, the manifestation that we're coming into is going to require those of us coming together into the one being, into singularity. But how it's going to play out, I'm not quite sure now, because every awakened person on this planet is part of the creation of the new experience. And that's why in the book of Revelation, when those of us that were all part of John the Beloved that wrote the book of Revelation, which I was there, I'm one of them. Renanda Kimura, you were too. We were all part of the same body, part of the same visionaries, part of the same cells within that body to have that experience. That's why so many of us remember being John the Beloved and write the Revelation. That's the same with many other individuals like Noah too. Many of us realize that we did build those arcs, and that is us. Thank you, Magenta Pixie, for your explanations of all that. Thank you, Sandra Walter, my dear sister, for anchoring the light while I had to go back into the geopolitical and really focus my energies on the shift of the planet. We have to take out Team Dark and learn how to do that with love. Rather than blowing them up, cut their heads off, and all that shit. Anyway, we're down to 59 minutes of this video, and many people have been wanting me to make a video and expressing my feelings. And we're in the new earth now, and there's many of us that are waiting on our twin flames or that to unfold. And mine better shit or get off the pot, because I'm about done with this wait. Anyway, love y'all. Bye for now.